In the world of reality television, it's not uncommon for the contestants to get pushed to the edge. But what happens when they get pushed to their absolute limit? Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorns. I'm Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the documentary, The Contestant. This documentary tells the very true story of a variety show in Japan, Denpa Shonen, when its producer decided to come up with a brand new idea. The idea was to take a person and put them in a solitary room and see whether they could survive on magazine competition prizes alone. While it sounds like a very entertaining premise, the reality of it was a lot more disturbing than you might think. Now, I first came across this story when it appeared on my YouTube feed a couple of years back, and I thought this was a very interesting yet darkly disturbing story. And now there's an actual documentary that revolves around Nasubi, the contestant, and what he went through and what this whole game show was about. Now, back in 1998, Denpa Shonen was ahead of its time. They were the first sort of reality show to come out and sort of set the standard for other shows past it. It involved a lot of pranks, a lot of interviews with the public. It was basically the origin story of the reality show. So it made sense for them to want to up the ante a little bit. And the producer had a brilliant idea in the form of this contestant coming into a solitary room and winning a bunch of prizes. This lucky contestant drawn from a lottery did not realize that his whole life would be recorded and showcased on television. He thought this was just some sort of experiment and it wouldn't be broadcast at all. The producer, however, had other things on his mind. Literally starting from bare basic, not even the clothes on his back, he had to basically get to his goal of winning 1 million yen worth of prizes in order to have his freedom back. It was very much a sort of human experiment and similar to the film Truman Show, which hadn't even come out yet. This documentary allows the world to see what actually happened during that time, and through interviews with the producer, family members, the team, and Nasubi himself, you get to realize the true extent of what he went through during this time. While on the surface it seems like a very run-of-the-mill documentary talking about the torturous time that he had, but if you really delve into it, it really showcases the extent of entertainment and the grip that it has on our lives. It's a telling story to the extent that people will go in the name of entertainment itself. And it's telling of what us, the public, will consume and what we are willing to take in just in the name, again, of entertainment. To put someone's mental health at stake just so that we can laugh and entertain ourselves and just see the other side of the story. The more you watch this documentary, the more disturbed you're gonna get just watching Nasubi put himself to the absolute limit in the name of just winning a prize. Sure, it sounded like fun at the start, and it was, but then once you get to nearly day 300, you honestly see the mental state that he's in, and it's just not normal. This is the darker side of Japan that no one really talks about. Japan is very glossed over as sort of this high-tech wonderland of technology that you rarely get to see the darker side of it, where mental health is not treated as something as important as we may think. Honestly, the more I kept watching this, the more it just reminded me of like a psychological horror film, but it was even more terrifying the fact that this all took place. But it's not all doom and gloom, because there's a very inspirational aftertake from this entire story. While the first 80% of the film is undoubtedly spent talking about Denpa Shonen and its history as well as Nasubi's journey, there is a bit at the end which will lift your spirits up again after the massive darkness that you may have experienced. At the end of the day, The Contestant is a documentary like no other. It's a story that rarely gets told unless you're looking through the annals of YouTube. And while it may be a very uncomfortable watch, it is definitely something that will grip you and hold on to you right until the end. So do yourself a favor, The Contestant is now streaming on Hulu in some countries as well as available on digital, but be warned, it is a very disturbing watch, but you'll be rewarded with a very interesting story to be told to all your friends or just to have in the back of your head. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. It's all on the screen at the moment: Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Go and follow and subscribe to those channels for more updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nick Dorian, and until next time, keep watching the movies.